Do you see Denver targeting's not a good word to use anymore in the NFL. Do you see Denver going after a veteran running back come their bye week to help with the run game? I saw Kansas City brought in Pierre Thomas.
And Ben Tate.
And Ben Tate I never really cared about, but Pierre Thomas, and I keep mentioning Felix Jones, I think, Andrew, they should bring in a couple of these guys. Pierre Thomas was a valuable player till the very end as a for want of a better word, flex back, a guy that you could use in situations. Juwan Thompson, Gary Kubiak said it again yesterday, and on Sunday, he wanted to give him more time. The problem is he can't be healthy for more than a play or two, then he's out of the game. I think you got to look at a couple of guys. Do you think that's the case? Do they look at a couple of guys, particularly during the bye week period, bring in a few guys?
Wouldn't surprise me, but I also think they may give Capri Bibbs a look in the near future because he had a good offseason, and remember, he ran in a zone blocking type scheme at Colorado State. And the thing I noticed just from practice is that he seemed to read the blocks as they developed back in May and June, even at times in training camp, as well or better than any of the other runners.
Yeah, I would rather not go after a guy on the beach because there's a reason he's on the beach. So Pierre Thomas and Ben Tate and Felix Jones, I would sooner call a team that has an embarrassment of riches at running back, like a Philadelphia. And see if I could, what it would take to pry Ryan Matthews loose.
Oh, come on.
They still have DeMarco Murray and Darren Sproles.
You happy with fumbling that often?
Ryan Matthews can't play, couldn't play at San Diego.
Well,
can't
he
play
has
at
a
Philadelphia.
job. Those other guys don't right now, and there's a reason for that.
If you're looking for that kind of guy, I would call a team that's got the all-time Carolina Panthers running back in yardage total, who was starting some games until a guy came back last night who actually won the game on the last play. There's a guy that's...
What about D'Angelo Williams?
Except Pittsburgh's not going to trade you him because
no, not at this
point.
Denver's in the wrong conference.
Well, not only that, Pittsburgh's going to live and die by the running game now with Michael Vick at quarterback.
Can we stick a fork in the Matt Forte discussion?
The Bears are a half game out of the playoffs right now. I mean, there was rumors of a fire sale a couple weeks ago, but if you're Chicago, why would you be divesting yourself of guys when you're actually right there in it? And again, they've played competent ball with Cutler at quarterback.
Well, if you're going to be realistic about your future, then you dump Matt Forte,
we got a
29-year-old running back.
Yep, we're up against news. Do you think C.J. Anderson will ever turn things around this season, or is Denver's run game doomed? I don't think it's doomed. I did talk to C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman, and C.J. Anderson is remaining optimistic that he and Ronnie are going to get this turned around, but haven't seen anything to show it so far.
There were a couple of plays Sunday where it looked like they could have turned it upfield. Both of them had it, and went to the wrong spot. To me, they're not reading the blocks that are set by the zone blocking scheme as well as you like it.
Well, and at times, doesn't it look like C.J. Anderson is running in mud?
Well, I think he had that toe injury he had in week 1. I think it's still bothering him.
And Ronnie had that great run, but
that'll
Sunday,
skew his numbers.
He seems to want to go outside. He just keeps wanting to go outside. And you're right, there were a couple of times he could have cut back in and picked up 6-7 yards.
And that's why if Juwan Thompson could be healthy, he'd be intriguing because he's a 225, 230-pound bruiser.
I like him.
But he can't
a lot.
He didn't have injury trouble until the end of last year. I mean, he's missed 2 games out of 22 in his career so far. So I'm not calling him injury prone.
But the couple of times they've tried to get him on the field this year, one, he had helmet to helmet and he was out of the game.
Well, that's not his fault.
And the second time he got it. Well, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying they can't. Kubiak, I agree with Kubiak. He can't seem long enough to keep him healthy in the 2 games he's tried to do.
But they are intrigued by him. I think if he could, maybe if he's got this hamstring, maybe you have to keep him out for this game. But when they come back for the Green Bay game, wouldn't surprise me if he gets a long
it's amazing. We've got to let Andrew go now, and we've got to do news. We just spent about 30 minutes talking about the Broncos and never once mentioned the defense. The best in the league.
The reason why they're 5-0, and we didn't talk about it.
Can we see you again next Tuesday? Can we call you?
You can definitely call me.
It's a bye week.
It's a bye week, so I might be in the locker room right around that time, but I will be on in one way or another with you guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Andrew Mason, DenverBroncos.com, and your Twitter handle?
@MaceDenver.
@MaceDenver, M-A-S-E.
And he's got a mailbag.